Disclaimer: this video is for educational purposes only.
Alright, let's see the next one. Leviathan 1. So SSH Leviathan 1. Password is this. Okay. So if we ls, there is a check file. Let me see its permissions. Looks like it has set user ID permissions and executable permissions is given to Leviathan 1. Okay. So if I try to execute this file as Leviathan 1, okay, it executes as Leviathan 2. Okay. So that's what it means. So if I try to use check, asking for password, I press something, it throws errors. Okay, wrong password, bye. We don't know what kind of password it is. Okay, is it a number, is it a alphabet? Okay, we don't know. In order to know, what we need to do is we need to use a tool called ltrace. Okay, ltrace. This tool intercepts and records the dynamic library calls which are called by the executed process. Okay, so we are trying to execute this process. Okay, it's going to intercept all the dynamic library calls. Okay, it's like it's going to intercept all the DLLs, you can say DLLs of Windows operating system. Okay, so in Linux also there are some libraries. So this ltrace is going to intercept them and signals which are received by that process. Okay, this process will receive something, so it's going to intercept that. So it's like a proxy between this application and the kernel. Okay, kernel of this operating system. Okay, so it can also intercept and print the system calls executed by the program. Okay, so it's gonna execute something, right? So all this execution will be printed here on the terminal itself. Okay, let's try to execute this and I'll show you what it is. So initially this library has been called, okay, main, and this function is printed. Okay, so it has been printed on the screen. Okay, printf and this one. So looks like this is a C program, right? And it is asking get character. So it is expecting an input and it is stored in this location. Okay, so let's try to use ASDF. Okay, just like we did before, and hit enter. So here is my ASDF and it's going to do something here. Okay, it's going to take some random values and then it is going to compare it, okay, with ASDF with this sex. Okay, so there is some value which is already there and it's comparing with the input which I have given. So it is also deleting the F part. Okay, so only it's taking 3 letters. Okay, it's only taking 3 letters and it is comparing it with sex. Okay, so since it is different from what it is expecting, so it's gonna say wrong password, bye. So if we try to put the same value here also, okay, let me try to put the same value, sex. So what it's going to do, it's going to give me something. Okay, get user ID is this and it's going to give me shell here. Okay, you see here shell. So I'm getting out of here. Let me type ls. It's going to say check, and if I try to cat /etc/ Leviathan pass, so Leviathan, so it is just a shell. So let me get into bash shell, it's a little bit easier. Okay, got it. And cat /etc/ Leviathan. Okay, and Leviathan 2. Oops, sorry. So it is saying permission denied. So what is happening here? I do have permissions, right? Since I have already checked, I do have permissions for Leviathan 2. So what's happening here is I'm executing this program normally as Leviathan 1 because ltrace has the permissions of Leviathan 1. It does not have permissions of Leviathan 2. Okay, so but this program has permissions of Leviathan 2. Okay, so if I try to execute using ltrace, it's not going to give me Leviathan 2 password. But if I try to execute this itself, I will get Leviathan password. Let me show what I mean. I'm exiting out of here. Okay, I'm exiting out of here itself. So I am out of that ltrace command. Since I used ltrace, I was Leviathan 1. Okay, I don't want to use ltrace. I will directly go to check. Since I know that this check has Leviathan 2 permissions, if I try to execute this, and I also know the password, which is sex. Okay, I got this shell, and this shell will have effective user ID as Leviathan 2. Okay, I'm no longer Leviathan 1 now. Okay, user ID Leviathan 2. Okay, and if I try to execute bash, it is also Leviathan 2. Okay, I got the Leviathan 2 bash here. Okay, so if I try to use cat now, it's gonna work. etc Leviathan pass Leviathan 1. Okay, sorry, 2. I got the password, right? I hope you get the difference between the file permissions and the process permissions. Okay, so that's how you solve it. I'll see you guys in the next one.